Samantala, magtatapos na po ang assignment ng U.S. Ambassador to the Philippines, Goldberg.
Sa gitna nito ay marami pong hamon na kinakaharap ang mahigit isang siglo ng relasyon ng Pilipinas at ng Amerika.
At kaunay po niya, makausap natin live dito po sa studio si U.S. Ambassador to the Philippines, Goldberg. Good morning, Mr. Ambassador.
Good morning, magandang umaga.
Oh. Okay, we'd like to know, the U.S. Embassy was the scene of a very violent dispersal of protesters just the other day. What was your initial reaction to that incident?
Well, I saw the video afterwards, and it was, of course, very disturbing to see. It was disturbing to see that the protesters were there in force throwing paint against the embassy. It was disturbing to see what happened in the aftermath. But ultimately, this is a matter for the Philippine National Police to sort out in the Philippine government. The Philippine police is responsible for protecting the embassy. We're very grateful for that and its perimeter. But if there was a confrontation in front of the embassy, it's really up to the Philippine police to sort out what happened and exactly what measures to take.
But do you think there was excessive force used by
I don't want to get into what is a police matter. It was not the embassy itself involved. They were protecting the embassy from the demonstrators, but what happened there is really a matter for the police to investigate.
Okay.
On another issue, sir, I'm sure by now you're very well aware of the recent pronouncements made by our president in Beijing, China. But just so for our televiewers to know more about that, with your indulgence, sir, we would like to show once again the clip of part of his statement there. Let's watch this.
I announce my separation from the United States. Both in military, not maybe social with the Philippines, both in military but economics also. I have separated from them. So I will be dependent on you for all time. But do not worry, we will also help.
All right. So may we get your reaction on this, sir?
Well, I think we need more clarification about what the president said while he was in China. Quite frankly, I don't know what he means by separation. I don't know what he means by economic separation. Our two economies, like the world economy, are very much linked. The United States is the largest private foreign investor in the Philippines. The largest private employer is an American company. The largest exporter is an American company. The markets in the United States are very much tied to the markets here. 43% of the remittances from abroad, from OFWs, go through the United States or originate in the United States. There are 3.5 million Filipino Americans. I'm sure there are many people in this studio with American relatives, friends who have studied in the U.S. Our relationship, especially on the economic side, is very strong. So I think we need further clarification about that. On the military and security side, we haven't received any official notice about much of the rhetoric that has been used. I noticed at the Secretary of National Defense's confirmation hearing the other day, he said he too hadn't really discussed any of this with President Duterte. So if the Secretary of National Defense needs clarification, so do I.
That's right. So
Also the Secretary of Department of Foreign Affairs.
That's right. So you don't feel the need to feel threatened about this recent pronouncement?
Look, the United States has a very strong commitment to the Philippines, has a defense treaty with the Philippines, and we consider it to be a solid and solemn commitment. But we can't say what is the case on the Philippine side. I know that the Filipino people very much support the relationship with the United States. That's clear from all public opinion polls, from every other survey that we see. But we have to clarify exactly what this means in policy terms. We want to continue this relationship. We think it's very important and mutually beneficial for both countries. On the security side, the United States provides support logistical support, intelligence support to the counterterrorism effort against international jihadist groups in the South. We are working towards an enhanced defense cooperation agreement that would allow us to do more with the Philippine military. So the real question is, what does this all mean, the rhetoric, for the actual work that we do together? We have large assistance programs. You know, there's a 226-kilometer road in Samar today because of the work of the Millennium Challenge Corporation that it did with the Millennium Challenge Corporation affiliate of the Philippines, where Filipinos and Americans work together to bring to one of the poorest regions of the Philippines a very important road that has cut travel times and allows for economic development along its path. So those are the kinds of things that we do together. We do a lot of work in Mindanao. We send high school kids to the United States to study for a year and live with American families. We do humanitarian assistance and disaster relief together. We worked very hard in the aftermath of Typhoon Haiyan, Yolanda. Those are the kinds of things that friends and allies do together. There are all kinds of educational exchanges, cultural exchanges. So I don't know what separation means, quite frankly, because we're so inextricably linked.
So it's just easy to say we broke ties, but in reality it's
not possible.
Long process.
Well, I don't know what the process is. I don't know what the goal and objective is. All I know is what I hear, not what I see, because what I see is that we are still working very much with our Philippine colleagues and in fact have very good relationships, nothing but friendly relationships at a working level, and then these discordant notes that we hear, we can't ignore them. But at the same time, we need clarification about what they mean.
Ambassador, some experts are saying that President Duterte has managed single-handedly to alter the dynamics here in this region, raising some concerns even to the other neighboring countries, mostly your allies, sir. How do you think will this affect your overall position in terms of securing your interests here in the Southeast Asian region?
Well, a couple of points. I do think that there are other countries, allies of the United States, friendly countries, other countries that are also looking to see and clarify what exactly all this means. They're concerned about the United States' position in the region because they're friends and allies of the U.S. in many cases. And we have helped provide the security in this region that's allowed the region to rise economically. You have to remember that the rebalance to Asia that the Obama administration undertook and continues to this day is based on the rise of China, the rise of the countries of Southeast Asia economically, and the recognition that our future prosperity, our future in the 21st century is very much tied to Asia. And security underpins that relationship, and it's something that people look to the United States to carry out. As for the United States, on issues of our security, we will always be able to carry them out, whatever eventuality takes place. I've told people and publicly that on issues such as the South China Sea, where we very much supported the Philippines' right to bring a case before the International Tribunal under the law of the sea, which we admired as a way to resolve disputes peacefully and legally, that we will continue to consider that to be international law. And therefore, we will continue exercising our rights under international law as we've always done, which means freedom of navigation and doing the things that protect our security and the security of our friends and allies.
President Duterte is also very vocal about the U.S.-Philippine joint military exercises. So are you pulling out of Mindanao?
Well, we haven't received any official notice about that. The deployment in Mindanao, where we work on counterterrorism issues, is somewhat separate from the exercise issue, although they do counterterrorism exercises as well. But we haven't received any official notice. We've only heard these public pronouncements.
Okay. Did you? Okay, Connie.
Go ahead.
Did you and U.S. President Obama talk about the President Duterte's colorful remark, which led to the cancellation of their one-on-one meeting?
Well, I know about what happened,
Okay.
and it's unfortunate that it did happen.
Oh.
But President Obama said, I said when I was involved in such an attack, that we don't take those things personally. We represent our country. I'm here as a representative of the United States and represent the interests, the values, the common relationship between our two countries. So I don't take those things personally, nor does President Obama.
All right. On a lighter note, there have been parallels have been drawn, between President Duterte and Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump. Is this a fair?
That's a lighter note.
Do you think that this is a fair comparison, sir? And do you see any similarities in the case?
I don't want to compare the two. My diplomatic training
true.
doesn't allow me to comment.
All right.
So, do you think there will be changes in the relationship after the U.S. election in November?
On our side, I think whoever is elected will want to continue the alliance, the wonderful relationship we have with the Filipino people, with this great country. You know, I'm leaving in a short while after 3 years. I will take with me great memories, and the biggest memory I will take with me is of the Filipino people, the kindness, the warmth, the welcome that you've given me, and you give all of my compatriots as well. And we're now sort of one family with so many Filipino Americans. It's a much different U.S.-Filipino relationship than it was in the 20th century. This is the 21st century. We have issues of a global nature, of climate change and countering terrorism and all the things that we can do together. And I think we ought to pull together. We ought not separate.
I just want to go back to the issue. You being a Jewish American, sir, obviously there have been colorful remarks made by our president with regard to Hitler and the Jews. What was your first reaction when you heard about
Which
that?
also
and
he
also
said
the
sorry
apology?
about it, no?
Yeah.
Well, the president apologized for saying those things. I know that it raised a lot of concern among not just Jewish organizations in the United States, but also governments around the world, especially in Europe, where issues related to the Holocaust are so sensitive. So hopefully that will not ever happen again.
Okay. On last note, can you tell us something about your successor?
Yeah.
Any advice to him?
On GMA? I will give him some advice, and again, my diplomatic training is kicking in. I think some of it will be private. But what I'll tell him is that the Philippines is a great country. He should go out and explore it. I've been all the way from Tawi-Tawi to Ilocos Norte. So I've seen the length and breadth of the country, and he should as well. And he'll find great friends, and he'll find great allies. But we're going through a period of some uncertainty that we need to figure out. We want to continue this relationship. We're committed to this relationship. We're committed to an alliance between the two countries. That's what we want. But we can't necessarily say what will happen on this side. You're a sovereign country. You've elected a government, and we'll have to deal with it as it is.
So this is only an LQ.
LQ.
Lover's
Lover's
quarrel.
I don't know.
Not a breakup.
I don't know. From our point of view, we're not suing for divorce.
All right.
Okay, thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
U.S. Ambassador to the Philippines, Philip Goldberg.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. Good luck on your
Thank you.
next
Next assignment.
Thank you.